Hello. Welcome everyone. Welcome to my live. If you're watching the replay, thank you for coming and welcome into my live. Hello, the New Orleans Gardener. How are you? Hi, blessed family. Good to see you. Hi, Maria Graham. Good to see you. That's right. Hit that like button on the way in. Thank you. KJ's Healthful Living. Hello, beautiful people. How's everyone doing tonight? If you can hear me, please let me know. Put a 1 into the chat. If you can hear me and see me fine, please put a 1 in the chat. Yes. Hi, Joshua Gabriel. How are you? Good to see you. Good. Everyone can hear me and see me. Good. Good. Thank you guys for coming in tonight. I appreciate it. You know, yes. Hi, Jamie's Country Living. How are you? Hi, Roro, Latrice. Hello. How is everyone doing? Yes, so today we're going to have a good conversation, and it will be just the very beginning of the conversation. How are you doing, Cheryl Faulkner? Good to see you. I'm doing well, Jamie's Country Living. I'm doing well. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Yes, good to see everyone. You know, one of the things that I'd like for you to do on your way in. Hi, Gigi's Naturals Homestead. How are you? Hi, Sharon Fuller. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, if you can just let us know on the way in, maybe what state you are in right now, that would be great. Just let us know what state you're in. That would be great because this live topic tonight may help some of you in the states that you're in. You're in from Georgia, Cheryl. Very good, very good. Hi, Bougie Prepper. How are you doing? Good to see you. North Carolina's in the house. Maryland's in the house. South Carolina is in the house. Yes, more South Carolina in the house. Yes, good to see everyone. Queens, New York. Joshua's in from Queens, New York. So Joshua, I don't know what your weather is like there. Are you in snow right now? Is it snowing? Tuning in from Florida. Yes, New Orleans in the house. Yes, yes. Can everyone tell me what your weather is like? Tell me what you're experiencing with your weather. That'll be a big thing when we talk about preparedness. The Analytic Gardener, how are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Where are you tuning in from tonight? Where are you tuning in from tonight? Maria Graham, you're at 66 degrees in Georgia. All right. That's pretty good. That's good. You know, the weather has been really interesting. Trying to warm up, but you're going to be getting some rain on Wednesday, Cheryl. Yeah. Mid to low 50s. Jamie's Country's Living. You are in the in your smile there. Okay, that's good. You're not at home. You're in South Carolina, and it's 51 right now. What state do you live in? The Analytic Gardener. Your weather is very cold, windy, and cloudy. Did you have a lot of snow, Joshua, over the weekend? Been beautiful where you are today, Gigi, in Florida. Okay, you're in North Carolina as well. Good, good. Hello, Cassandra, South Fulton Garden. How are you? I'm doing well. I'm doing well. You're from South Fulton, Georgia. Currently 53 degrees. That's all right. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. You know, one of the things that I wanted to talk about tonight, I said that we would talk about preparedness. Now, you all know that that is such a large topic when you start to talk about preparedness in the late 30s. And so, depending on where you live, you may be preparing for so many different things. Like Joshua, he and Gigi's in Florida, they may be preparing for totally different things. And one of the places I do like to go to look for preparedness information, it really is ready.gov. That's really a good site to visit, you know. And so when you talk about preparedness and you think about some of the things that I've been doing, when I say that I was doing the Jar It Up 2023 challenge as well as the Homemade Mixes 2023 challenge, it is a challenge because I am challenging myself to do these things. It's so easy for me to not do my canning like I need to, or make my mixes to stock my pantry. It is just so easy for me to do that or to not do that. But by me doing this challenge, it has forced me to do these things and to get my videos completed every day so that hopefully someone else is learning. How are you doing, Micro Farmer? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, Yankee sister. Good to see you. You're going to be in and out. You're doing some work in your garage. You're probably working in your garden, in your garage, in your grow area. That's good. Good to see you. So yes, I don't know if anyone else is taking advantage. I know that some of you are taking full advantage of this, the challenges that I have out. You know, if you saw my update video, there were so many that took advantage of it. Whether you were canning or pressure canning or water bath canning or fermenting, or if you were making different tinctures, some of these things are going to be extremely important, as we talk about preparedness and things that we need to be prepared. For a lot of us, we need to make sure that we know what all of our risks really are. And that does depend on where we're living. Hi, Mike's Chaotic Gardener. How are you? Yes, it really depends on where you live. And so know the risk where you live. What kind of risk is your family going to have? Are you in an area that's prone, like right now, we had this whole winter weather, different than it has been ever in the past, coming through many of the states that haven't seen that winter weather. You think about that. Hey, Growing with Hudson, how are you? Good to see you. And you think about the winter weather storms that we have, and just, are you prepared for those storms? And what are you doing to prepare if you're in those areas? Like Gabriel, what are you doing to prepare for those storms? Do you have the food that you need? And that's one of the main things. Anytime we talk about, at least in my area, a winter storm, you cannot go to the grocery store. The bread is gone, the milk is gone, everything is gone. And so you really want to make sure that you're getting those things in advance. How are you doing, my granny's garden? Good to see you. Good to see you. So you want to make sure that you are getting those things in advance, because thanks so much for discussing this, the Atlanta Analytic Gardener. Thanks so much for discussing this, Crystal. We really need to talk about our preparedness for such a time as this. Exactly. It's so true, the Analytic Gardener. It really is, because we have so many different things going on in the world depending upon where you live, And if you are in a situation where you are having those winter storms, and I know in my area, anytime we say there's going to be any type of winter weather, you really can't get things from the grocery store. You can't get in there. I remember seeing, I think it was Gigi's Naturals, trying to get some water. I remember the whole gas situation when we were out of gas, and people are just not prepared for these things. And if 2020 hasn't taught us enough, one of the things it should have taught us is to make sure that we have some toilet paper at the house. Make sure that we have some toilet paper at the house, and food. If you eat meat, it's very important that you secure your meat. Everything gets cleaned out at the slightest hint of a storm. It really does, Analytic Gardener, at the slightest hint. So you really have to think about that. Everything is closing down. And if you think toilet, yes, Mike, that toilet paper was out. The toilet paper was out. And I know that people were in a panic looking for toilet paper. So just think about, you're looking for toilet paper. What about the water? You know, that's what you really need. You need water. You need food. You know, I can do without the toilet paper, you know, you really can. There are so many other things that you can use, but you must have some water and you must have food. And so now really is the time to know and make your plans. Make your plans. Know what your risks are in your area. And so know what you need to plan for in your area, you know. Make a plan. You all know the saying, a failure to plan is a plan to fail. So it's very important to make plans. And if you don't, you're just planning to fail, you know. Mike's Chaotic Gardener is saying any storm they sell out of milk, eggs, and bread. Everyone make French yeast every storm. You try to be prepared before an emergency happens. Exactly, T-Nog. You definitely need to be prepared in advance. The toast, yes, they make the French toast, Mike. They do, they do. And I don't know what they're doing with the eggs and the milk, especially if it's the summertime, you know. And in our area, there were several power outages. Did you all have any of those power outages? I know I was talking to my doctor and he was telling me at Christmas he was out without power for an entire week. You know, you have Maria Graham, she has her bug out bag ready. Exactly. How many people in here have a bug out bag? Do you know what that is? If you have a bug out bag, raise your hand. Raise your hand if you have a bug out bag. You all know that I certainly have a bug out bag. I have several bug out bags. Yes, without power for an entire week. Mike has a bug out bag. Very good. Very grown with Hudson. You have 2 bug out bags. Very good. Do you keep them with you in your car? Do you keep them with you in your car or at your house? You have 2, Cheryl. A long time ago, you saw lactose milk and your stomach feels, oh, like you were having some diarrhea. I got you. You keep one in the house and one in the car and one in the garage. That's smart. Gabe, Joshua, you have 2 bug out bags. Now, I'll tell you, you know that the key is to really be able to bug in, to stay in. That's the goal, you know, is to be able to stay in. So you want to make sure that you have your food and you have your water. You're home, but things are in the car. You have some in the car, growing with Hudson. So make sure that you know how much water that you need. Again, if you go to ready.gov, they have all the information that you can use to build your kits. You know, if you look at places like FEMA now, they're telling us to make sure that we are prepared. You know, make sure that we are prepared. Make sure that we have a plan. Your bug out bag isn't as complete as you need it to be, the analytic gardener. Well, what I need to do is make sure I go back through mine, you know, that way I can change out some things. I do need to make sure I keep checking on the food that I do have in there, because I do keep some dehydrated things or some freeze dried foods. So make sure that I have those things done. Hey, Hands in the Dirt, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. So that's one of the reasons that I did this canning challenge, is because I wanted to make sure that I am putting some food away, storing some food for my family. And I know that you all want to do the same thing. A lot of people in here are canning. How are you, Hygie Homestead? Good to see you. Good to see you. And I know a lot of people in here are big into gardening. And that is one way to help secure some of your food. So now is the time to get your food, your seeds together. Hey, Broke Farmer, how are you? You didn't get a notification? Sorry to hear that. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, now is the time. A lot of the gardeners on here, they are gathering their seeds. They're planting their seeds right now inside. Those that have are in a different grow zone that can plant outside, they're doing that right now as well. So you do some canning, some gardens. You have chickens and rabbits. That's all right. That's really good. I'm still thinking about the quail, something small, really, that can actually be inside also. That's one of the things I'd love. Hi, one virtuous woman and one vigilant watchman. How are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you all for coming in. Thank you all that have been sharing out this live. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. We are in here. We're talking about prepping and preparedness. You know, it doesn't have to be something that's serious. And some people just think that, why are we going to talk about preparedness? Well, just having your food, that is a way of preparedness. My parents were preppers, really. We had a large stock of food, and so now is the time for us to go back to those ways, make sure that we have our food secured, make sure that we learn these skills. Skills are going to be so important. And you know that gardening is a skill. You all know that gardening is a skill. Jamie's Country Living, you're in zone 7A. What other zones are you all in? What other grow zones are you in? That's the number one. That's the one thing you need to make sure that you know. You need to know your grow zone. Gardening is a skill and it takes some time to learn that skill. So one of the things you want to do is you need to start gardening. You need to start it now, so that you can learn. And there are so many people I know in this chat that are excellent gardeners. Veggie Farm, how are you doing? Veggie Farm Garden, good to see you. Good to see you. 6A, Indiana, Zone 9B, My Granny's Garden. Very good. Very good. Now, one of the things I'll say about the challenge, My Granny's Garden, I really do want to commend you. I was just so proud to see you start canning. You have learned that it is truly a skill. Canning is a skill. And I think you have the canning bug now. And I think we're going to see you doing a lot more canning. And I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see that you've jumped in and that you're jarring things up as well. It is a skill that we need. We need to be able to cook from scratch. We need to be buying ingredients. I know that you're growing the vegetables and you just need to be able to cook from scratch. Broke Farmer 8A, Broketown, Georgia in the house. Okay. Maria Graham, she's in zone 7. Zone 9, the New Orleans Gardener. A resilient dad. How are you? How are you doing? You're tapping in from the Bay Area. Very good. Good to see you, a resilient dad. Absolutely. Good to see you. So that's one of the things that we are talking about. 6A, Connecticut. I know that you you had some snow, Yankee sister, in your area. Zone 6A, Missouri, Roro. Very good. Very good. So a lot of people in the chat, you guys are gardeners, and so you are getting your seeds ready to grow. And I've watched a lot of you actually blossom as gardeners. I've seen a lot of you blossom as gardeners. You've been prepping and gardening since 2002. Then in 2020, the California fires wiped you out of home. Oh man, sorry to hear that. In all 18 years. Now you have a new homestead, so you're starting all over again. Sorry to hear that, virtuous woman. Prayers to you and your family. I'm glad you're able to start over. And I know that won't be hard, but yes, definitely keep you in prayer as you starting over in your homestead. Hygie Homestead, you started building your greenhouse today. Well, congratulations. Congratulations. Yeah, I think I need a greenhouse as well. I'm debating on that. A resilient dad, you went to Lake Tahoe with 8 feet, had to have chains. Wow. Wow. Lots of snow, lots of weather. And those are the things that we have to make sure that we are definitely prepared for. the weather, depending on where you live. And right now it's extremely cold in some areas, but we're also expected to have extreme heat. And so that's one of the things that we definitely will have to be prepared for is the extreme heat, because that is such a drain on our power system. For us, I have been without power for a week, and we were fine. But when you think about it, it's us, and we could drive a distance and go to the store if we wanted to. We could go to a cooling area if we wanted to. And so that was one of the things that was important. How are you doing, Yaya girl? La la. How are you, la la? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, and so that's been one of the things that is very important, is to make your plans, y'all. Again, a failure to plan is a plan to fail. So make sure that you're making your plans, whether you're planning right now to garden. Remember, gardening is a skill. There are so many people in this community that are here to help. You can watch them. They'll definitely email you and give you some advice. I know, Broke Farmer, you're building an orchard, and those trees that you're planting will give you so much food for many, many years to come. And that's really exciting. My fruit trees hasn't been as successful as I would have liked them to be for many, many reasons. Again, it's a learning thing for me. I have a lot of trees. My yard is extremely wooded. And so that's one of the things. Have water storage, water collection, rain barrel. That is very true. That is one of the things that we just cannot live without, is water. So we definitely need to have the storage and collection. Need to know how to filter that water also. Water filtration is very important. And knowing where your creeks are, knowing where your local rivers are, those maps are out there. That's very important for you to know. Even if your creek dries up, you need to know how to still be able to go to your creek and be able to get water beside that creek down below. So that's very important. You started collecting rainwater for your garden, la la. Absolutely. Absolutely. Maria. Okay. Make sure that he ties down his greenhouse. You have some experience with your greenhouse blowing over, Maria. I've seen some really nice greenhouses out here. And I'm also starting to see quite a bit indoors. I'm seeing quite a bit of indoor houses as well. And I'm interested in maybe getting a small one like that. Gonna be a big issue. The wind is gonna be a big issue. Okay. Yes, and so that's one of the things that's important right now, is to go ahead, secure your water, secure your food. It's time to be very proactive, be proactive right now. As I said, I am challenging myself right now. I'm challenging myself to do a lot of canning. I do have quite a bit of food in my freezer, and I really want to get a lot of that food out of my freezer and into some jars. And so I'm doing that. I'm canning that up. If you don't know how to can, just watch, get your books. I would say get your books there. You can take classes as well at your local extension office. If you're not familiar with your local extension office, look that up. They offer all sort of classes. They offer classes on beekeeping, on how to master gardening, from canning, from keeping chickens. So you can take all sort of classes at your local extension offices. So look into that. You're canning also, Maria. Very good. Hello, Littlefoot Ranch. Good to see you. How are you? Good to see you. Hey, the everyday life of an OCD-ish chick. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see everyone. And welcome and thank you for coming. Right now, we're talking about the different areas of preparedness. I think that it's just important right now for us to talk about that. One bottle of a lot of water that you run through your Berkey. Yes, the Berkeys are nice to have. I've had mine for quite some time. I like it. We like it. and like the water out of it. And it really is a good filtration system. But there are so many other types of filtration systems as well, you know. And so just look into that, especially for those of you that have your go bags. Make sure that you have a way of a water filter in your go bags as well, so that you have that. I do have a video on my go bag. Maybe I'll do an updated one. What is your favorite way to store your canned food in jars? What is your favorite way to store your canned food in jars? I like to pressure can. I like to pressure can. I do like to water bath can, but mainly my water bath can, that's for my vegetable, or I'm sorry, that's for my fruit and my jelly and jams. I do like to pressure can my meats and my other vegetables. I like to put those in the jars. I make a lot of soups. I haven't shown a lot of that on, but I will show some of those soups that I'll be making, because those things are only, I can open up the jar and it's ready to eat. Doesn't require a lot. It truly doesn't require a lot. So I can open up the jars and I can eat the food right out of the jars. Doesn't require a lot to heat it up, and I don't have to heat it up. If it's not necessary, and I don't want to waste any electricity or any gas or propane, I don't have to do that. So I do like to have the meals in the jars. Where do you put all Veggie Farm? I can't even tell you how many jars I have. My jars are all throughout my home, to be honest with you. I have a pretty large pantry, that I do have quite a bit of my food stored in. And then I also, because I do can quite a bit, I have food throughout my house, throughout. And so that's the thing. You can store your food all throughout your house and no one will ever know. If you have tables, if you have old school type chairs, or chairs where you can't see under them, your couches, your things like that, you can store your food all throughout your house. And so that's where I store a lot of my food. I do have a pretty good sized pantry. Actually, it's one of the bedrooms. My oldest daughter, she's in the chat. She no longer lives here, so her room is actually a pantry. So I do have that. Share some of my soups. I sure will. So the third week of every month, I'll be jarring it up. And what I will do, the analytic gardener, I'm going to go ahead and I'll make more soups. I'll can more soups and stews and things like that, one jar meal, so that people can have those ideas. And I'd like to see some others do that as well. My Granny's Gardener, you are on it. Maybe you can join us in that. You have backup way to cook. You have a Hygie Homestead. You have a backup way to cook. You have a grill, a camp stove, sterno, rocket stove, a fire pit. And that's something that's very important to have as well. Make sure in your plan that your plan has backups. You really need backups. You're looking for some ideas on different ways to prepare. Let's see if I can go back up and see what Broke has said. Ways to preserve. You're not a fan of canning. I understand. So, you can always dehydrate your stuff. You can always dehydrate. Dehydration is a great way, Broke. Fermenting, especially a lot of the vegetables that you have, fermenting is a great way. And it really, honestly, it truly depends on how you plan to eat your food as to the best way for you to can it. It really depends on that. If you're dehydrating, like I like to dehydrate my fruit, and the fruit, you can eat it just like candy. It's just like candy. You've been one virtuous woman. You've been freeze drying. You've been dry freezing to clear your deep freezer and storing in heavy duty totes. That's a great way to do it, because you're trying to get your freezer cleared as well. When you have several freezers and your power go out, you learn pretty quickly that you need to do something different with all of that food, because you don't want to lose it. I lost back in 2010. January of 2003, we had a big winter storm here, and we lost power for a long time. And back then, I didn't have all the things that I have now. And my husband is military, and so he was deployed. So we were home, me and my daughter, my youngest daughter at that time, and she had medical needs, as a matter of fact. So I learned a lot from that situation. Had a freezer full of things, but that really wasn't my biggest concern. When you have someone that has some special needs, you think differently about what you need to prepare. And so we have quite a bit of things prepared. But storing your food in heavy duty totes, that's an excellent idea. I have totes stacked up as well so that I store my food in there. Yes, my daughter's room is a pantry. It is. You love to dehydrate and ferment. Let's see. You also like having renewable sources of fresh food 365 days a year. Off grid water setup is your goal. That is great, Littlefoot Ranch. That is great. How do you take care of all of your animals, your water needs for all of your animals? I know you have quite a bit. The Mylar bags and food savers, you're saying if you are freeze drying food, that you would, if you're freeze drying, or if you're buying different things like rice and beans, those sort of things. Yes, those are good for Mylar bags, and then your food saver as well. That's exactly right. But if you don't like canning either, Littlefoot Ranch, a lot of people don't. I like it. I like the way I like having those. I like having the ability to just open a jar of soup and eat it. And I purchased vacuum sealer canisters, and those just came. That's been one of the big things that I wanted, was the vacuum sealer canisters. Yes. Let's see, Jamie, I'm trying to go back and make sure that I don't miss something. Forgive me if I do. It's definitely not on purpose. Your vacuum sealers. You just started dehydrating. Hi, Nicole Gross. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. You just started dehydrating, Maria Graham. Do you have a dehydrator? Do you hang up your items? And what all are you dehydrating? I love to dehydrate as well. I really like to do everything. So everything that you saw me doing on my Jar It Up 2023 challenge, those are the things that I like to do on a regular basis. And I kind of got away from doing those things. It's just easy not to do it. So this challenge was really a great way for me to get back into canning and to fermenting, making my medicinal items. The 5-gallon buckets, I do. Yes, I store quite a bit in my 5-gallon buckets. I have a lot of those around the house as well. A lot of these things can be disguised. You don't have to have them in clear sight. You do like canning. I like canning too, Jamie's Country Living. I really enjoy canning. Canning relaxes me. It relaxes my mind. And out of it, I get a lot of great food for me and my family. Right now, Littlefoot Ranch, you're attached to the county city. I got it. But you're setting up rainwater catchment system in all areas of the ranch for your animals. Well, that's great. That is great. Hygie Homestead, you like to collect rainwater off your shed into 250-gallon totes, gravity fed with hose into chicken coop and rabbits. That is wonderful that you're able to do that. A 250-gallon totes, gravity fed. That's great. And that's what your chicken coop and your chickens and your rabbits have. That's great. You just ordered a new dehydrator and you're really jazzed about it. What type of dehydrator did you order, Littlefoot Ranch? Yes, I love my dehydrator. I've had it for a long time. At Jamie's Country Living, you've only fermented sauerkraut. Well, I have some sauerkraut going and I have my kimchi going still right now. I actually have a video with me tasting my kimchi after 10 days. I like for them to go a little longer, you know. I like for them to ferment a little longer I don't like them so crisp. If you like them really crisp, then you will be okay with 10 days. But for me, I like mine a little softer. Hey, Miss Shirley, the OG gardener, how are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, so you collect rainwater to use on your plants as well, blessed family. And we're supposed to be getting quite a bit of rain. It's really been a rainy season for us, a rainy January. And so I have so much rain, but I also will say that I've been collecting them, but it's been so cold that the water has been freezing. You know, the water has really been freezing. Well, that's a nice food dehydrator. Very good. I'm excited for you to see everything that you will be dehydrating on with that new dehydrator. You need to dehydrate more items. I was dehydrating some chives this weekend. So that's one of the things, you know, I try not to let my onions, whenever I'm using onions, I try to put the bottom part out in my garden and let those grow. That way I don't lose any of that. I don't waste it. You like to dehydrate fruits, blueberries for your pancakes, the cherries. The cherries taste like candy. One of the things I found out, I like to dehydrate blueberries too. The first time I dehydrated them, you know, they ended up with this, they really swole so big, and I realized, okay, I need to do something a little different when I'm dehydrating them. So I did. Your cilantro is doing great. Very good. Very good. And right now I do have some things that's growing even in the weather and all the ice that we had. You know, my mustard greens, they froze, but they're actually doing really good right now. They're really doing really good right now. Nicole Gross, how are you doing today? Hope you're doing well. Yes. And so one of the other things that we want to talk about as we talk about being prepared and all the things that we're doing. We talked about the food, making sure that we have food. I think everyone in here understands how important it is and all the different ways that you can secure food and not to wait. Do not wait. Try to get your food secured now, because if you wait on the masses, you know, if you're having these storms that are coming along, a lot of people are going to be out getting the food, and you may just miss out, or you'll end up in a crowd that you really don't want to be in. You know, you be in a crowd that you really don't want to be in. Hi, sifting some soil and more. Good to see you. How are you doing? How are you doing? You need a new dehydrator. Your hubby sold your professional dehydrator and left a cheap one by mistake. The guy told us that they were going to start his business with your dehydrator. Oh boy. Yes, if you had a professional one, I can understand that. I can understand being upset about that. Yes, I don't have a professional one, but mine still does really good. It really does. Now, I know that we talked about mixes. I missed your comment. Lighting is important. Hygiene Home to use those. I hope other people that you have more than one way to do everything. Have your backups. That you have all of your backups. So, bougie. What about communication is very important. Know how to communicate. Have some backup plans for your communication. You know, right now, I really want us to focus on our food, our seeds right now. You all remember in 2020 when the seeds disappeared and that was a frenzy, a lot less seeds in the package. I looked at that and, you know, price is the same or maybe even higher, but you're getting a lot less seeds. Did receive some in the mail. And I have to thank the New Orleans gardener. I wasn't expecting all of these seeds. Most of you know, I don't know if you can see that, New Orleans gardener. I really want to thank you hard about the growth, about the foraging and foraging classes, because that is going to, am I buffering? Can you all see me and hear me? Because I can't tell. If you can hear me or see me, put a 1 in the chat. It says that it is trying to, can you see me? I am still buffering. Off and on, it's buffering. That, I think it's very windy outside. It is very windy outside. So that could be one of the problems and one of the reasons that it's buffering, because of the wind outside. Again, that goes to this whole internet, guys, and making sure that you have some books. Make sure that you have some books, because this internet is not stable. It's just not stable, and it's subject to go down at any time. I know, just like now I'm buffering or I was buffering. And so it is, you can see and hear me. Thank you so much, Tinog. Thank you. And so that's the whole thing, is that this internet will go down. You know, we had a lot of cyber attacks. So grab your books wherever you can find them. You know, you can find them at secondhand stores. You can find them if you all have Goodwill, Salvation Armies around. Thank you. Thank you. Grab your books right now. Yep, thrift stores, wherever you can find them. You need recipe books. You need first aid books. You need your canning books. I have a book on composting that I got from Not For Nothing Homestead, you know. So there are all types of books out there. Hi, Sanal. How are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Am I doing good? You need gardening books? Absolutely. Get you some gardening books, some cookbooks. You need a lot of DIY books. So things that you want to know, or you may need to know how to do, make sure you get those books. Books on how you can find water. Even that's out there. And even if you don't have books or the funds for books, print some things out on the internet. Go ahead and get that printed, because just like right now, buffering, it's windy outside. This, you know, power can go out at any time, or the internet can go out at any time with all the cyber attacks. I know my doctor's office or my medical plan, they were attacked, and so I have to be mindful of that now. And so there's so many things that's going on. Herbal medicinal books, absolutely, those are a must have. You know, I think that's one of the other things that I did quite a bit of during the challenge. I made a lot of my medicinal things that I need, and that's important to have around, are your medicinal things, your medicinal herbs. You need to know, a lot of us are growing garlic. You need to know what that does for you. You know, just learn what some of these herbs do for you. I know that we're growing, a lot of us are growing mullein. What other things are you all growing that have medicinal values? There are so many herbs that have medicinal values. What other herbs are you all growing that have medicinal values? Cookbooks, yes, a lot of books. Get lots of books that will teach you how to do so many different things. Get the DIY books. I know we're growing the mullein, you know, chamomile, lavender, yarrow. I want to grow some of that, some yarrow, I think, as well. Goldenrod. I saw your goldenrod. I saw your goldenrod. Yes, goldenrod is really good. Rosemary, basil, lemon thyme, and lemon. Yes. Yes. My rosemary has done really well. Does anyone else have their rosemary flowering? My rosemary has been flowering for several months now. So for several months, my rosemary's been flowering. It's very pretty. It's a purple flower. Anyone else have that? The other two aren't flowering, but one of them, it's really nice. Jamie's Country Living, you were cleaning your bathroom cabinets and you found 2 boxes of alcohol prep pads. and antiseptic wipes, plus a box of vinyl gloves. Yes, you remember how hard those things were to get as well? So you need to make sure that you do have these medicinal herbs. No flowers on yours. Your rosemary is flowering too. Yes, out of control. Well, mine is actually in a container, so it's not that big. I really need to put it in the ground so that it can get a lot larger because I really love rosemary. Your rosemary looks dead. Uh-oh. So no. Well, hopefully it will bounce back. I hope that it bounced back for you. Stevia, you're growing stevia to help with your blood sugar as a sweetener, Mike. That's good. I'm gonna be excited to watch you grow that. Learn to grow your own. How are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, so I'm going to I may look into growing some stevia also. I hope your rosemary does bounce back though. Yes. And I'm going to grow some I'm growing a lot of different things. You all saw me pick some of the wild herbs. I can't even think of the name of it now, but there are so many out there that you can forage as well. And now is a good time for me to go out and forage while everything is dead and I don't have to worry too much about the snakes. It's time that this is when I like to get out into my woods during this time when I don't have to worry as much about the snakes. Hmm. So then the other thing that we talked about was making sure that you tighten up on your skills, learn some new skills, learn some new skills, learn some new skills. That is very important. Very important. You don't like the snakes either. Make your own laundry detergent. It's so much cheaper. You know, Heidi Homestead, I just finished using the last homemade detergent that I had. I need to make more. You're absolutely right. It's a whole lot cheaper, and actually it smells a whole lot. It smells really good too, and fresh, depending on how you make it. Anyone in here, anyone else make their own laundry detergent? Is that something you'd be interested in seeing or knowing how to do? You need to learn how to make your own. Well, that may be a video that I can do as well, the analytic gardener, because I do make my own detergent as well. It is really easy to do. And a lot of times do a video. Okay, I'll make myself a note to do that video on that. And we'll make some homemade detergent. I make my own hand soap. I do a lot of things like that. No, it's really not hard to do at all. And some people, I like the liquid. I like liquid detergent. And some people, if you don't like the liquid, it's very easy to make if you don't like the liquid. Yes, very easy to make. It really is. And so I'll do a video on that and show everyone how that's done. Hey, Juicing with Jay, how are you? Stuck on the snake. Yes, yes. We have a lot of snakes in my woods, and there's a little path that they like to take through my yard, and some of them are poisonous. So I don't like the copperheads at all. Don't like the copperheads. Those like to come. They take a little path. The black snakes, don't like any of them to be honest, but I can live with the black snakes, but not the copperheads. And those do bother me. And so now is the time that I like to go out there. I know where they around the area that they're in. Do a video on hand soap too. I will. I sure will. I sure will. Know what? You don't don't like the snakes. So I try to be very careful when I'm out there, and I don't like going through the woods. I don't know how hands in the dirt when you're out there hunting. Oh, stock up on your over-the-counter medications. Absolutely, Hygie Homestead. There's been such a shortage of medications around. I think I have shared that my daughter had trouble getting prescription medications, and so and we all probably heard about the acetaminophen, the Tylenol, those things that were hard to get. those over-the-counter medications. And that's why it's also very important to know how to make some other remedies, some medicinal things that are not over the counter. Yes, I definitely have my over the counter stuff, but I also want to make some things or learn how to make things that I don't require going to the store to get. And that's very important. I know a lot of people in here grow a lot of herbs for that main reason. And there are a lot of those are some of the type of books that you want to make sure you have in your stockpile as well. Make sure you have some of those books. I have seen some folks eat snakes. Anybody in here seen that? You only the only copper you want, you want to be able to spend it. You got that right, juicing with Jay. You got that right. Yes. So I have seen people, you want to learn how to can dog food. I think that's pretty easy. I don't have any pets, but I've seen that. I've seen people make the dog food. I think you use sweet potatoes and different things like that. So I think that's pretty easy to make. Maybe you should show us how to do that. That would be easy. Grab the over the counter meds. Yes, get those over the counter meds. And if they expire, I have a lot that are expired because I don't use a lot of meds like that. But if you all know that expiration date really isn't the expiration date, and you can go online, I want to say it's the military website, and they will tell you how long, or the FDA, it tells you how long after the expiration date that you can keep those things and that they're still good for. Yeah. So don't throw that stuff away because the date is out of date. You still can use it. You used to work with a guy that ate rattlesnakes. Yes, I've seen that on TV. And I've seen it at a restaurant before that you could have that. I can't remember where I was. Maybe in overseas, but I've seen where you could have rattlesnakes, the analytic gardener, but that's something that I really wouldn't have a desire to eat. You've eaten some rattlesnakes in Texas. Oh wow, Miss Shirley. Oh, you don't tell me, what did it taste like? Don't say chicken. Seems like almost everything will taste like chicken. So you've heard about the expiration dates, that they're really not an expiration date. Hey, gal, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. You're not late. You're good. Very good. Make some jerky in your dehydrator. Yes, jerky would be really good. Jerky would be really good. I don't eat a lot of. I make fruit jerky like that, but I don't eat a lot of jerky. But I do know that it's easy to make in those dehydrators, and it's good. It's a good thing. It lasts a long time. A lot of protein, and that's something good for your pets too. If for you if you want to make some things for your pets, you can dehydrate in the different things. Make some jerky for your pets as well. So you want to make sure that you have enough food for your pets. The rattlesnake isn't bad, it's just different. Not a chicken flavor. So it's just something that you have to get used to. I'm gonna guess but nothing that I really want to get used to. Now, if I had to, that'd be a different story. If I had to, that would definitely be a different story. That's why I'm keeping my squirrels around, because I may need to eat those little things. So I'm gonna let them. I'm gonna let them stay and keep multiplying. That's what they tend to do here. Just keep multiplying. And because I may need to have some squirrel stew. That may be something to can up some squirrel stew. Squirrels, they do cook up nicely. I've seen that. People do eat the squirrel. You've learned so much from homesteaders on YouTube. Yes, there's so many things that you can do. There really are. You'd rather eat rabbit, Gail? You like squirrels? I don't like rabbit either. I don't like rabbit either. Yeah, I just remember my brother loves rabbit, my oldest brother, and he used to hunt. And I just remember the smell as like when I was a kid, and I just can't, I still haven't been able to get past the smell of rabbit. And so I just can't eat that. The squirrel meat is delicious. Your venison and squirrel in your freezer right now. Oh wow. Wow. You're gonna put that in some jars. How do you eat the squirrel? Is it like a tenderloin or something like that? Yes, I will pass on the squirrel on the squirrel and the rabbit too, unless I had to. That's a whole different story. Only if you have to. Yes, exactly. Your bunnies are pets. I don't want them as pets either. Luxury meat. I hear you. I hear you. None in my freezer either, the analytic gardener. No squirrel and no venison in my garden or in my freezer. I have a lot of chicken in my freezer, lots of chicken, and lots of chicken in my daughter's freezer too. I have some fish. I have some, what do I have? I have some catfish in there that we need to cut up and some croaker. Squirrels taste, squirrels taste like chicken. They do. It tastes like a mild roast beef to you, Mike. The squirrels or the rattlesnake. Then let it go. Okay. Let's see. So you were timed out a little bit. It's a luxury meat. Ah, it's something that people of different regions eat. You don't get chicken. I see. I see. And so in your area, Mike, squirrels are something that's eaten. They're like the dark meat there. That was an accident, the analytic gardener. Let's see. I was trying to see. That was an accident. Yes. So that's what I really wanted to come today and talk about really. I wanted to start the conversation talking about prepping and just general preparedness, getting so that everyone can start or ensuring that you have plenty of food that when the masses are out trying to get food, you don't have to worry about that you have that. If you are canning or if you want to learn to can, I'm here, be glad to help. You can absolutely you can absolutely email me. I'll be glad to help you. Bougie, she's talking to you, Nikki. She said watch those chubby fingers. So yes, juicing with Jay. You have the luxury of not eating it. Exactly. Exactly. Right now, I don't have to eat the squirrels. I don't have to eat the rabbits or the snake. So not gonna eat that right now. If I have to, I am saving them though, juicing with Jay. I'm letting them stay in their little homes right now. I see all the homes out. The trees are bare, so I can see all the homes right now. So I'm letting those babies stay right in that home in case I need to eat it. And then I can tell you if what it does taste like if I ever need to eat it. So go ahead, guys. Make sure that you have secured your food. And those of you that are gardening, make sure that you have your seeds, get your seeds, take action. Put your action into plan. Yep, take action. Make sure you write your list down. Be proactive about everything. Try to learn yourself a new skill this year. I'm certainly learning a new skill. So try to learn a new skill. Hi, Barb Brownlee. How are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. So, yes, do as much as you can to learn a new skill. I'm making a lot of these mixes. They're very easy to make. Very easy to make. You, Gail, you can some ground beef, some round steak, corned beef, more beef tomorrow, and chicken. That's all right. That's what I'm saying. Get that food canned up. And that'll be really good to open up and eat whenever you get ready to eat it. It'd be an easy meal to eat. I'm going to be canning my soups. I'll go ahead and show those soups later on and show you how I can that during the third week when I have the jar it up time. Jarred Up 2023. Right now, I'm still making my mixes. If you all saw my mix today, it's funny, the Jiffy cornbread, that is homemade, y'all. Just so you know, it is still homemade. So even though it's a Jiffy hack, it's a homemade cornbread. But you have to like sweet cornbread if you like that, to like that Jiffy. You want to learn how to can this year? It's really easy, Sanov. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me, whole new perspective at gmail.com. Very simple email. Just email me. It really is simple. If read, follow the directions, start with water bath, but pressure canning is really easy as well. Once you want to do that, if you have a extension office near you, go ahead and look at that. Look into your extension office. They do teach you there as well if you need that. Steamer is just as good as a water bath. I have the steamer. I haven't used my steamer. Me and T-Nog, if you're still in here, you have a steamer. I know you were going to try to get Jada to can in the steamer. I'm going to try to can in my steamer. That's one of the things that I'll do. It's supposed to be a lot easier juicing with Jay. I do have one of those, so I'm going to be using that as well. You use your All-American today for the first time, Gail. Oh, congratulations. Congratulations. I'm going to be using mine for the third week of the month. You all will see me use my All-American as well. I'm excited about that, the canner, but it's just that's a heavy canner. Jamie, you're going to make a mix for, thank you. I'm glad that you are. I hope that others get into this collaboration with the mixes, make the homemade mixes 2023 challenge. I hope that several of you get into that. Yes, I hope that you do. You like sweet cornbread, and your wife doesn't like sweet cornbread. So just make a small batch. Oh, you're so welcome, Sharon. Good to see you. It's good to see you. Good to have you here. You have a good night. We're getting ready to get out of here. We've been on for an hour. I want to give you all your time back. And I do want to thank everyone for coming in tonight. I appreciate it. We had a good discussion on general preparedness. I'd like to continue to talk about different things. I'll probably put out a community post just asking about different things that different things that you may want me to do, different videos. Absolutely. You're welcome, Jamie's Country Living. Good to see you. And I want to thank all of my moderators that were here. You guys were wonderful. You did an excellent job. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you that were here tonight. Hope you all have a wonderful week. Enjoy your week. I know we talk about tomorrow, the New Orleans Gardener, she'll be out having a video. I know that Nikki and Bougie, Hands in the Dirt, they have Wine Down Wednesday. Just Dorsha has something on Wednesday. Anyone else in here have a live that they want us to know about? Just let us know. You can put it in the chat. That would be fine. Yankee Sister, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you for being here. You did a jarred up video. You just have to edit it. Absolutely. It's all year long. We'll be posting it the third week of every month and all. So think about that and we'll get that done. Oh, thank you so much, Analytic Gardener. I appreciate you being here. Miss Shirley, thank you so much. You have a live on Thursdays at 7 Eastern Standard Time. Y'all go check out Miss Shirley, the OG Gardener, on hers. But you don't do lives, Jamie. You'll be just fine doing lives. Thank you all so much for coming out. I really do appreciate it. I hope that you all have a wonderful week, and we will see you next week. Again, if you haven't done the new challenge that I have, please consider doing it. Good night, Cassandra. I appreciate you coming. Cassandra South Fulton Gardner. Yes, love everyone. Thank you guys so much. Nobody's see it. That's so true, Gail. Nobody will see it. Nobody will see it. Thank you. Thank you, Nikki, the everyday life of an OCD chick. Appreciate it. Appreciate everyone coming out tonight. And I hope to see you all. Thank you, Maria. I really appreciate you coming in. Barb, you're going to watch the replay to see what you missed. Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yes, love you all very much. I appreciate you coming, and we'll hope to see you next week. Remember to watch the other lives. We have several coming up. You all take care.